Everybody, it's December 3rd, 2021. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And welcome to Hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Good,
How's your
man.
week?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like I started off, running in the mud, but...
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah.
That slow?
It was. It was just like a fog, a funky, and I don't know what, but...
Yeah, I mean, the week's been good. Today, major headache, but it's gone away. It's more of a sinus pressure thing. Shout out to the girlfriend for bringing me stuff today. But, yeah, it's helped. Feeling a little bit better.
Well, this week, we've had this before, but just not on the show. It's an old favorite. This is a good sativa. It's called Jenny Kush.
Jenny Kush.
And this one's clocking in at 32%.
It smells really fresh, too.
Oh, yeah, it
very
really does.
Fresh, very clean.
Let's see what it tastes like.
Yeah, let's get into that one. The buds are really, really fluffy looking, too. They fill the jar. That's what I like. And they're really frosty. Oh, yeah.
That's very tasty.
Beautiful. Let's see that.
I feel like I'm walking through the forest with that one.
Oh, yeah. Really clean taste.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Well, I want to start out by
oh, man.
giving a shout out to an old buddy that I worked with in Compton Police Department.
Okay.
His name is Red Mason.
Okay.
So, think of Ed, and Eddie. Well, he's Red with two Ds, Red double D. And he has his own YouTube channel, Red Pablo Mason. Check him out. He's also got some Compton stories and some things he's doing to educate the public on how to protect themselves against the wrongdoings of law enforcement and the evil that's in there. So
yeah, I'm glad we have a buddy out there in the YouTube world.
Red Pablo Mason.
That's awesome. Thank you, Red Pablo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's get right into paying yourself, because man, I'm so glad I got paid today because rent is due.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. But also we have some we've said, current events. Big impact when you pay yourself in your investments,
and it's starting to show itself. So we talked about sundial growers. That's a good meme stock.
Yes, honestly, it's a very popular stock still today.
Yeah,
millions trade through it these days.
We talked about how cash heavy they are.
Very cash heavy,
as a matter of fact. So now they've also branched out they've invested into Sunbeam Banking.
A bank.
Yes.
Oh,
a bank.
There you go. They bought a bank.
They bought a bank.
That's very nice. Well, it's a partnership, right? They're gonna be splitting or something like that. They're the bank's the bigger company. Sundial is the smaller sister company.
So Sundial is working with SAF, and through SAF they're organizing to buy Sunbeam, and I believe if I'm
nice.
You have to check out the articles, but I think Sunbeam is United States.
Oh, very nice. Okay, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, that sounds like a leeway because they're a Canadian company.
And these are spin-off investments.
Very cool.
So, yeah, which spin-off investments are kind of risky, but they also pay off well, when they do cash.
I mean, it's reflected heavily in the stock, if you haven't noticed. The past week, it's kind of tanked, but it's on sale.
It is on sale. And also, don't forget, the merger with Alcana is supposed to be happening by the end of this quarter.
Hasn't been official yet,
And I looked this morning. Alcana was trading at $5.71. I didn't look to see what it was at the close. But just imagine when they acquire that stock, what the value of Sundial will be.
Time will tell, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Time will tell with that one. There's also another company that we've been looking at that has a very bright future. A clean company.
Yeah. ChargePoint.
Yes.
CHPT on the symbol. It's a clean energy company.
Very nice. Yes. A very promising future for the company as well because they deal with charging stations, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So think about... Let's rewind this conversation, with everybody to the 1950s when President Eisenhower was implementing the interstate highway system.
Right.
And as a result of that, because of the gas mileage of cars,
more gas stations.
There had to be gas stations every X amount of miles.
Absolutely.
We're looking at that with charging stations.
Yeah,
now.
The more demand for electric cars, the more demand for charging stations. And
absolutely.
Right now, ChargePoint has a good hold on that right now. So,
that stock is also on sale.
I mean, they're a progressive company. I like the idea of clean energy.
Well, speaking of energy, so there was an announcement made today by ChargePoint.
Oh, today? Okay, this is news to me.
This is new, and I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings about it, but I think my wallet's going to like it, so I'll shut up.
Can't complain too much then, eh?
Yeah, former Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao was named to board of directors on ChargePoint.
Okay, and she is... Who is Elaine Chao?
Mitch McConnell's wife.
Oh, makes sense. Okay, yeah. Makes sense by your little
But
torn.
previous Transportation Secretary, she definitely has the contacts of what's going to be needed in order to fulfill transportation needs, because remember, all government vehicles are supposed to be electric by 2030, so this is going to be a very big undertaking, and that is someone who knows the ins and outs of transportation in our highway system and what's needed to keep the commerce flowing.
I mean, they say supply equals demand, but sometimes the opposite applies as well, Gene. The demand equals supply.
And that's where we are. The demand for this is going to be crazy.
I mean, everyone's looking for clean energy these days. We've talked about it before. It's the future now.
Yeah.
Like medical and clean energy. We've talked about bringing solar here to Arizona since we started talking.
I'm surprised that here in Arizona there isn't solar on every roof.
So the more clean energy, the better. The more I'm for it, because clean energy helps the environment stay the way it is and not, extinct. go extinct. Honestly, that's not we don't want that. We don't want our environment to dissipate. We don't want these trees to disappear. And I always say save the turtles when I go get a straw. When I deny a straw, I do. It's funny, but it's also true. Save the turtles.
No, definitely.
Keep your straws.
So just a little side note, for anybody that finds it kind of interesting, I do. On the street that I live, my house is the only one that has solar.
Wow, really? I have noticed that. You have told me about your solar. Yes, it's awesome. I like your solar setup. But I haven't noticed that you're the only one with panels on this block.
I am the only one, and I've had those up for 4 years now. And I'm still the only one with solar on this block.
You would think Arizona sun, solar power would be the way to go.
Just to have the hookup to the grid, because they require you to do that, my electric bill has been below $20 now for even during peak summer usage.
Yes, you had to pay off the panels, and yes, they were expensive, but by that time, you've already made up the money saved, correct?
Well, yeah, so I look at it like this. While you're paying for your panels, that's like... Okay, instead of paying an electric bill, now I'm paying for my panels. Now when the panels are paid, that investment is now paying for itself.
Yeah, because an electric bill is never ending. The panels end at a certain point. I like that. You still pay $20, but that's...
And that goes to APS, our electric company.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right.
That's very cool, man. Yeah, that's a dream. I mean, honestly, take some vacant lots out here and put some solar panels there and slap them on.
But also to remember, not only will these charging stations be going up all across, our highway system,
right,
they're also going to be in the cities where we live. Imagine in Maricopa County here, the greater Phoenix area, how many charging stations that there's going to be just in the city.
And I mean, ChargePoint is not the only company that's in this space either. There's
exactly.
Others, so
exactly.
There's plenty of real estate for this one. It's going to be a race, I feel like. This is some really fresh stuff.
I know, I'm digging it.
It's really fruity towards the end. When it's dying out, it's all ashy. It's very fruity. Let's talk about something that was really silly.
Yeah.
She missed the dumbass mark of our week.
Only by the hair of...
We want to talk about her still because
we have to.
It's fun. Nancy Mace.
Yeah. She was a hero a couple of weeks ago when she introduced the safer or basically legalized marijuana. I forget the
It's like
term.
SAFE, S-A-F-E, capitalized, right?
The States Reform Act. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
States Reform Act.
Gotcha.
And okay, that's a good thing. You're doing something that a majority of Americans want. Mm-hmm. Kudos for listening to the people. Mm-hmm. But we got to call you out on this because this is the problem. And there's a lot to point out with this story.
Now, you and I both believe that America is smarter than just the two parties that we have. We believe that progressive mindset's there and we are smarter than just two sides. But when you play both sides, you don't expect America to notice. Yeah. So
let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah, she hopped on Fox News first. Or was it CNN first?
It was Fox first.
Was it Fox first?
Yeah.
And talked about how natural, getting COVID naturally and then making the immunizations that way, antibodies and whatnot is the better way to go, blah, blah, blah. There's no really reason to get the vaccination with that. We should really do more science and blah, blah, blah. Later that day, hops on to CNN and has video of her getting vaccinated and talking about how pro-vax she is and that vaccinations are great. Everyone should blah, 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 be vaccinated. Look it up.
And we know it was the same day because she's wearing the same clothes that she was wearing on Fox.
That was the dumbass part. It's like, in our minds, it's like, if you're going to go into enemy lines, when you've already crossed a line, you've already made your statement where you stand, you're going to go into enemy lines, you at least change the way you look.
Change uniform.
Or the only thing she changed were the hoops in her ears.
But so is fun. The funny thing about that's funny. But
Lord,
here's the sad part.
Yes, sad part.
Because this is why it is so important not to just look at one source of information.
Amen.
To get informed.
Yes,
right?
And we preach that everywhere. Don't even just listen to us for information.
So if you only watched Fox News, you would only hear her talking about how you don't need the vaccine, it's bad, anti-mandate, Biden's the enemy, and you would believe that.
Right.
But if you would turn on CNN as well,
she's preaching,
you would hear she's talking out of both sides of her mouth. Because
that's so funny.
Whereas she's showing, look at me, I'm getting vaccine. I'm so pro-vaccine. I'm so pro the mandate. And keeping people say, all you're doing is pandering to who you think is looking on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
Because that's how polarized the country is, that she feels that emboldened to go on two different major networks and talk out of both sides of her ass.
Same shirt, man. That's insane. Man, free game. That's how I see it. That's
come
free
on.
game. If you thought America was stupid enough to not notice,
yeah,
you're that.
Watch everything. I do have friends. Oh, I just listen to conservative news. So in other words, you're just listening to
one side
what
of the
you want to hear.
I've preached and preached and preached. You need to listen to both sides of the conversation.
Yeah.
There's two sides to a story, to everything, and for a reason, so you can use your brain that you were given to find the missing piece of the puzzle, to put it all together, right?
And just Gene's opinion. If you listen to Fox, One American News, or Newsmax, you're being lied to on purpose.
I listen to and read multiple sources. Honestly, even though we say social media is not the way to go, raw media is the most way to get the best way to get information for you. So if you're able to find video footage of just raw footage, no blur, nothing, unedited, clean, somewhere online, somewhere from some source, and are able to share and talk about it, have a conversation about it, we are being progressive, we are moving forward, we are being smart about, just everything, honestly. Just how we retain information, man. So don't stick to one. Human beings want to take as much information as possible.
Here's where it's important to understand where you get your information.
Right.
If you ever wonder how a school board meeting in Podunk, United States, gets national news attention, it's because a local reporter is on the scene and breaking the case. And that's what draws the national attention.
Right.
So support your local paper.
Right. You know, not just one source, of course.
That is the source.
Not just Facebook, not just Twitter, not just like
I boycott Facebook. If you look for social media for your news, you're an idiot.
But like even like that's the case. That's what I'm saying. Like if you were to go to multiple sources of outlet through media, which social media, quote unquote, has media into it, you get more information.
But it's not news.
It's not news. It's information.
And that's what I'm saying. If you go to social media for news, wrong. You want to go to... And so here's the difference. A lot of the crap that they say on Fox News about how, COVID is a hoax, they get away with that because Fox is not a news organization. They're registered as an entertainment company.
It's a biased opinion.
Let somebody on CNN or MSNBC say that, and they'd be getting fines from the FCC and all kinds of stuff.
Like, they try to feed truths, quote unquote, to you. When you and I sit here and talk about what's going on in the world and express opinions, we say this is our opinion, how we feel about it. Anybody else can chime in with us on our media, wherever we are, and want to talk to us about it. But, like, that's how you become progressive, and that's how you find the truth, honestly. Yeah. Like, the more information you have, the better.
Be that person to look at both sides and then go, oh.
Like, there was a case with, sadly, there was a shooting in Michigan. And there is a case with this, we'll talk about the shooting, of course, but there's a hero amongst them, right? And there's no, they talk about a hero. His name's Tate Meyer. There's no video footage through this shooting, nothing like that shows his act of courage. But media has expressed that he saved precious lives with just fractions of a second. Like, he rushed the shooter and was able to get to the shooter enough to almost disarm him.
Now, here's how I look at social media in that light.
Yes.
Okay. These are all the kids that were there.
And that is raw information.
That's called witness account.
Yes. Right.
So that's not an opinion about how somebody on Twitter saying, oh my God, the vaccine's going to make you grow an eyeball out of your forehead.
It's valid information you're getting from social media because information there's no video footage of it. There isn't. But there is story. These kids and people are talking about of him rushing the shooter and causing valuable time for others to escape.
Right.
Like, 4 died and he was one of them, sadly.
Yeah.
And also, I heard the parents are also in trouble.
So, first all I can say is, I can't say enough about Tate.
What a hero.
There's no greater love than that who laid down his life for his fellow man.
That is an American hero right there.
Yeah. So the suspect who did the shooting and killed 4 people and wounded several others, he's in jail for murder, first-degree murder.
Of course, yep.
And his parents...
He's being tried as an adult, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think so, anyway. But his parents were charged with negligent homicide because the weapon that this kid used was theirs. And so as a result of their negligence, they're responsible for those deaths.
As it should.
Because it was their weapon and that was not properly secured.
As it should.
But also, if you look at their social media, to say they're gun nuts is an understatement.
Oh, Lord.
They believe that you should be able to carry gun out of every orifice and create orifice to put guns in. I mean, they're that nuts about the Second Amendment.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're idiots.
Yeah. I mean, guns aren't my favorite. I mean, I believe in defend yourself. So, fight or flight situations like that.
You know how many guns I pulled off the street working in Compton?
How many?
I'll tell you when we get to 1,000.
Yeah, do that. But so to speak,
but a lot.
We've talked about it before. Like, I would feel more protected if people were trained and licensed, right, with guns. But I'm not that person. Maybe I'll do it for fun, for shooting, going out as a game, like, you know, shooting clay and all the nonsense. But like, that if you're a licensed person that's trained, keeping your license, staying up to date, that you keep it safe, then sure, yes, props. I would love for that. Just like how you and I smoke marijuana with our cards.
Yeah,
we're rightful citizens. Do what we want. We go to the doctor and get checked out for our pains that we have, because this is the reason why I have it. Get my card updated and continue on the way, right? So it's simple just as that. Even with a car and your license, even though it's like 70 whatever years it feels like until you have to update your license until you turn 21. But
I'm glad you brought that point up,
right?
Because here's my counter argument to the trained issue.
Okay.
Because as law enforcement, we train all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I don't
know about
there was
that.
this one incident where we got into a shootout. I mean, the entire department, because the little bit of information is this guy was driving a stolen car and he was shooting out with the police. And there were over 100 shots fired and only one person hit. From law enforcement.
Impressive.
Law enforcement shoots over 100 times but only hits the guy one time. These are trained people.
Right.
Where's the other 130 or 100? There, I said. Where's the rest of those bullets?
Right.
You know, how many volunteer stray bullet victims have been created by trained individuals? So throwing that word trained out there kind of grinds on me a little bit, because I am trained. I've seen what it does.
Right.
That word means absolutely nothing. It carries no weight.
Right. Gotcha. No, I mean, it's a sensitive topic, of course, but like, I mean, I firmly believe a human does not have the power to take another life unless it's within that defense situation where you're in that fight
defense
or flight.
of others.
Your life
self
is,
or others.
Your life
period.
is above others. Period. Yes, absolutely. Basketball.
Yes.
Suns have 18 in a row. Franchise history.
They
record
are on a
broken.
roll, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're playing Golden State tonight. I'm excited again. Fingers are tingling.
So do you think it's going to be a repeat? Do you think they're going to shut Curry down again, or is he going to go off tonight?
I feel like Curry's going to put his points up, but you know how Monty does his game. He adjusts, and he knows what pieces he has. Booker's out, of course, with his hamstring. Maybe multiple others that are out, too, not discrediting towards them. But I'm pretty sure CP3 can carry weight. I'm pretty sure others can carry weight, too. CP got a lot of rest the other night, and they still brought the handles. So, brought the hands. So, we'll see. Looking for a good game tonight. LeBron testing positive, but also able to play 2 days later. What?
Okay, I'm a Laker fan. I'm not a player fan.
Okay.
As far as I can remember through this entire dude's career, in my opinion, he's been privileged.
So, I understand his statements when he's vocal for particular situations that need to be spoken about, right? He's not afraid to talk about those topics.
Social issues, I'm on the same page with him.
He's not afraid to talk about those topics. But why are you able to play 2 days later? I understand, yes, he had a plus with his tests, and then I guess he goes and gets tested 8 more times in order to validate that he gets to be able to play 2 days later. It's kind of silly to me, but also when he's tweeting out something's fishy on his Twitter, I mean, if he's playing with fire and he's sick and he gets others sick, shame on him. But if it's a I told you so, I'm fine, then I mean, props on the stance, but I really hope he's not risking lives, man. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, there was a story that came out this week, and this is off topic, man. And we hate talking about him, and I won't say his name, but you know,
gotcha.
the obese orangutan.
Okay.
When he tested positive for COVID, at least twice while he was in the White House. Was a super spreader, giving it to everybody, just like not giving any consideration toward anybody, knowing he's tested positive for COVID, and just like shaking hands and walking up to people, he never wore a mask.
It's kind of weird that that's kind of the same like MO as those today now, isn't it?
It's just
there are people walking around with it right now
that know it.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm a hermit, man.
We literally we have people where I work that we try to rush to get people to come back. It's like, no, there's a time frame that we have in policy we have to fulfill. We can't break that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the season so far?
I'm kind of surprised to see where Portland is. To me, that's the big surprise where they are. The Lakers are right about where I thought they'd be.
Yeah. I mean, they beat the Kings the other night without LeBron James. I mean, that's a big prop to them. I mean, Russell Westbrook has had better stat lines.
They have been playing better lately.
He still has turnover issues.
Yeah.
He's still indecisive. They know they can't win without LeBron. They know they can't. And they already know how bad it is to win with LeBron right now.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. So, are they playing for the number 8 spot, trying to beat the number 1? I mean, that strategy didn't work last year.
There still is a play-in though, too. Yeah. Whatever the case may be, I don't know. I don't know if they want to do that, but man,
yeah,
they're old. They'll get tired if they play in the play-in before the playoffs. Dumbasses of the week.
Dumbass of the week, man.
Let's get it.
All right. So, mine is Angela Baker, 43-year-old lady in Ohio.
All right.
And she was arrested for ethnic threatening.
Oh, shit.
But the situation was she was like at a mall and was in her car. And a couple of black guys were walking through the parking lot. Mm-hmm. And, of course, she got, white scared and turned her car on and started driving her car toward them, making them run away from her car.
What?
Yelling the N-word and other racial epithets at them while she's doing it.
Lord.
And the police get there and, of course, long story short, arrest her.
Of course, yeah.
And she was sentenced today to 6 months for that.
Where was this again?
Ohio.
Oh, God bless Ohio.
I'm just like, lady, you're a dumbass. Think. But, man, that's white privilege.
That is.
That is white. To think I'm scared because somebody's... And what she was dumb enough to say.
I've been in those scenarios before. A person jumping when I'm walking to my car in a parking lot.
When the police asked her
in my hand.
what the problem was, her answer was, and I'm not making this up,
Lord,
my only problem was the color of their skin.
Oh, Lord, shit.
Oh, man.
Just there 6 months. There's plenty of colored people there for her to get to know.
Yeah.
Man.
Or something like that.
Woo. Man, she's messed up.
Right.
Absolutely messed up. Well, mine is a little twist. It's dumbasses. Kind of like a little... an abundance of people who have an opinion that's really stupid, okay? So Mr. Beast came out with a video that is breaking records. Like, it has, millions and millions of views within 3 days, right? And so it broke, actually, the viewing record of Squid Game itself within the amount of days.
Yeah.
And instead of, congratulating him and whatnot, people are making it a negative thing that he's promoting the mission or the ideal that they have behind Squid Game, where it's like the government is making those play to kill themselves or die, and because you're poor and you owe money. No one died during Mr. Beast's game.
I know a lot of people that walked out with money in their pocket.
Hey, they were all offered at certain points to leave, and popped them at random with money. Like, hey, you can leave right now and have this much. Not telling you when, because the video is really awesome. Go check it out.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, it is really cool.
It is really cool. It's really cool. But yeah, those that are taking the negative light on this, you're the dumbasses. Come on now, you're trying to take something fun away from people.
Something fun, an event that was totally safe and a lot of money was given away.
And it was even sponsored.
There was nothing there that was like threatening or...
No,
nothing
like that. No, they had just had fun.
Yeah,
there was always a foam pit to catch people. There was literally netting around the foam pit too, in case there were times.
Really cool.
There was a point where Mr. Beast was close to the edge, and he was like, "Oh, whatever," because he knows that it was safe over there.
Yeah,
like. So, anyways,
yeah,
those who need to shut the hell up about that.
I agree.
Man.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this week, guys.
Hey,
thanks for following us on YouTube. Hit that like button.
And also follow us on Spotify. Download if you wish, if you may, if you have the premium. I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you for hanging with
Uncle. Follow
us
on socials.
And don't forget to check out our website, www.hangingwithuncle.com.
See ya.